Here in Los Angeles with Maestro Placido Domingo. We're going to talk about Enrico Caruso.
With pleasure.
Una leggenda. She's a legend.
Without any doubt.
Without any doubt. I like to start with a quote, because I did this little research, and with quote, his word, we are able to pull out his personality. Mm-hmm. So he says, a big chest, a big mouth, 90% of memory, just 10% of intelligence, lots of hard work, something in the heart. Is that what takes to make an opera star?
Well, I think that every human being is different. We are all made differently, you know. So somebody have a big chest, other ones they have, you know, smaller, but they also can sing, you know. So I agree in certain things. I think the intelligence, the 10%, I don't agree. I think that it has been a lot of history, you know, and a lot of say to it when they talk about tenors not being intelligent. I think, first of all, he was a very intelligent tenor. So I think it is kind of a joke, what he said, the 10% of intelligence, you know. And, you know, so memory, we need it. Certainly, we have so many roles to learn. And the heart, you cannot sing without heart. So let's say that part of his quote is true. Part is a little bit joking, you know. And then the other one you cannot generalize, you know, because I have seen singers that they were very, very, very thin, with a tremendous voice and tremendous resonance, you know. So I think the answer, the quotation, it has three parts. One that is very true, another one that it could be different, and the other one I think is a little bit of a joking.
A little bit of a joke. And if I can add, I believe he was incredibly humble.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Nobody goes around and say, I am intelligent, but he's able to say just 10%. Un poco.
Yeah.
Maestro, Enrico Caruso was born very close from where I was born, in the street of Naples, in a very poor neighborhood. And I believed that he knew that he had a gift. Now, I believe that we all have a gift. And if we believe in our gift, we can achieve something. Is Enrico Caruso can be used as an example for next generation, for driving towards something important?
Well, without any doubt, somebody that has been the greatest person in his business, and he has been the greatest tenor ever. You know, it can be really, I mean, everybody that wants to be a singer has to have in mind what he did, you know. The way being born in a place which, of course, I think Naples, it helped the voice of the tenor, because nella strada si parla molto forte, I ragazzi, cioè it's not a quiet city. Exactly.
Una tarantella.
It is una tarantella. It is a good place, you know, to develop a voice naturally. You know, in el quartiere, in the vicinity, with all so many friends and so on, he has the possibility to develop his voice already, probably fin da ragazzo, when he was very, very, very born, when he was a boy. So, but I think that whatever the idea of any singer is to have always in mind the greatest one. I mean, so we all really, I doubt that it is any tenor that can say, I don't like Caruso. I mean, this is the God for us. Is the maximum figure. I mean, I think that it is I mean, in every voice is an specific, but I think out of the other voices, you can talk about a soprano, maybe Callas, yes, you know, also. So if you talk about a tenor, you will talk about Caruso. When you talk about a soprano, you talk about Callas. The other voices, they can be many more, you know, but I think that Caruso is Caruso.
How did Enrico Caruso influence you as tenor and the world of opera in general?
Well, from the very beginning, of course, so you learn the name very early, and you follow the records. And in those days, you know, so still following the 78 Revolution records, I hear, especially, I like him in the French repertoire because it was something very special in some of the areas that they impressed me so much, like, for instance, Rachel Can du Seigneur from La Juive, or Au Paradis
Carmen.
from L'Africaine, Carmen, and also Sanson de Dalila, who said, Vois ma misère, hélas, vois ma détresse. It has something very special, Caruso's voice, which of course, I mean, is Italian, he's the quintessential Italian, but I think the French repertoire, it was very special in his voice. Very, very special. And I start preparing, and I don't know why, at the beginning, those arias, I like it very much to sing. In fact, the La Juive aria, I like to sing it as soon as I start singing practically, because I like it very, very much. Also, I have in memory, when I start thinking I was a baritone, which now I am, just like Caruso did, you know. He thought he will be a baritone, and I have to build my voice little by little, half step by half step. There are some tenors that they were born, you know, with all the tessiture, with all the high C, D flat, you know, everything ready. I have to work little by little, and Caruso also have to do it that way. I remember also that I was singing as a baritone, an audition, and I was singing the prologue of Pagliacci, and they told me, listen, I said, we think you are a tenor. I said, do you know any aria then you can sing? And I said, yes, I can sing Amor di Vieta, which of course Caruso did the premiere of Fedora, and that's an opera also that I have done so many times. And I sang the aria from Fedora, and in the audition I arrived into the A natural, I cracked the A natural. And because of course I was not ready yet to sing as a tenor, they told me, well, never mind, and you cracked it, but you are a tenor. So, and they gave me small parts, you know, to make my debut as a tenor in Borsa of Rigoletto and the Capellan Dialogue de Carmelite, Poulenc. So it was thinking in the Amor di Vieta of Caruso. So, I mean, it has been an inspiration, and it has been really, I mean, the dream, you know. And I once, a few years later, when I was in Israel, one day I kind of discovered something very interesting in the voice of Caruso. It was that it moves you tremendously. It has, you know, the range of his voice. It was equal in color, you know. So, you know, there are tenors that when they go to the top, the voice goes thinner.
To the passage.
Or goes passage. From all the tessiture, all the octave, but especially from E flat, E natural, F, all the way to B flat. I mean, it was the same. But I discovered that in his voice, at least, and I think maybe it was an effect of the early records, but his voice was a little bit straight sound.
He
A straight
lost
sound.
control
Yes.
of the vibrato.
And
almost like-
a straight sound,
Focus here.
Yeah, and that one afternoon I went to the opera house in Israel when I was with my wife, with Marta. We were just married and we went to Israel for 6 months and we stayed 2.5 years there, working really very hard. And I sit down myself at the piano and I sang 20 arias, trying to imitate him. And my God, I realized that I can sing better than ever. I can sing better than ever, trying to do what he was doing. And it is something that it has helped me very, very much because, somehow the singing, straight singing, especially when you have a big ensemble or a concertato,
Yes.
it tires me less. It makes me
Less is
less
more.
tired than when you put all the right vibrato in your voice. So I learn a lot from him. It is just amazing how much it has helped me and how much he inspires me.
Enrico Caruso started to sing in the street of Naples, Neapolitan songs. A lira here, a lira there. What Neapolitan songs means for a tenor?
Well, I think it really means the preparation to sing opera. Let's say, I don't think also there is not. I don't know a tenor that has never sang a Neapolitan song. Of course, it's beautiful. There are fantastic melodies with beautiful text, with a lot of heart, with a lot of making cry the people, or making laugh with joy. And it is a repertoire, sensational repertoire. And, Caruso left us, great amount. And we have all tried to do it like him, but we can't. But in any case, we have always tried to sing Neapolitan songs, and I love them tremendously.
So when we think about happiness, we sing Funiculi Funicula.
Funiculi, funicula.
When we think about passion and love, let's sing Core e
Lucano chiagnere,
E chiagnere ma fai. Here we go.
tu stanotte dove stai, voglio a te.
Voglio a te.
A grande, big temperament, great feeling, and of course we all love them.
Do you consider Enrico to be an innovator for the era he lived? And why?
Well, without any doubt, he starts with the story of tenors, even if there have been so many before him, like in the times of Bellini and in the times of Rossini and so on. We have big names, like Rubini, etc. But the really story of the tenor voice of our days start with him. At the beginning of the century, at the beginning 19th century, 1900s, because he unfortunately died so young, so 49 in 1921, and all the story for all of us starts by him, and everybody wants the comparison. It is so somebody sings, what do you think you are, Caruso, and it is the beginning. And don't forget, it's definitely because it's fantastic, because he started with the records. The time of recording, it was Caruso, so he was tremendously lucky than he was with the records that today everybody hears in any other kind, so
format.
They were the 78 revolutions, then it comes the 33, then it comes the CD. In any kind, the voice of Caruso will be heard anything that it will be discovered in the future, the voice of Caruso will be. So it has been a mine for the La Voce del Padrone those days, you know.
That's the innovation right there.
The innovation, it was something new, totally new. So how can it be, I mean, just because of that, it is really a special Caruso. And
It's
the
like
way,
100 years ago, Caruso was seeing what is happening with iTunes and digital distribution,
Exactly.
and there were other tenors. They were saying, "I don't want to sound like that. That doesn't sound like me."
yeah,
Caruso took the risk.
yeah,
You say, doesn't matter it sounds like bad, but it's the only tune that I have, so people in Argentina can hear me,
yeah, sure.
and all over the world.
Sure, and it's still, you know, you have it in New Jersey, and then you have the way he starts singing, you know, so the way he has to be singing in a, just like it is like a camera, you know, in a big thing, you know, so the microphone, that was the kind of microphone.
Con la cera.
Yeah, Blacheras, you know, well, it certainly, yeah, it starts, the story of recording starts almost 100 years with him, you know, no, past 100 years now, sorry, because,
Yes.
I mean, he records in the
1903.
early 1906, 1907, 8, you know, so when he last 18 seasons, then he sang at the Metropolitan, so he was very much involved already.
The first recording was La Donna è mobile. Enrico Caruso and his relationship with Metropolitan Opera in New York. 607 performances, 18 consecutive seasons. That's the relation that he had with that city, with United States.
Yeah.
That was his second home.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I feel very close to him on that, because he was not lucky to live longer, but 18 years consecutive he was at the Metropolitan. I know now I am on my 46 years at the Met constantly, and I know what that company means. And in those days was fabulous. It was his house, really. Caruso, really, his concentration was the Metropolitan. You know. He went to Buenos Aires, he went to many, many places in the world, but operatically, it was the Metropolitan. So that was amazing, and that's just incredible that the people of those days, they can hear him in 18 consecutive opening nights and in so many performances. That's amazing. That's amazing, because I consider myself very lucky that I have been so many years there, and of course I have a great amount of opening nights and performances. But this has been in a very long period. But in 18 years, he was the indiscutible king, you know, and he will do everything, and with that quality, and with the public really discovering the voice of the tenor. Can you imagine the excitement? I mean, because we have heard other voices before, and I mean, not to say, because in the time of the bel canto, all those tenors, they were really, really phenomenal, you know, and they were singing tessitures, and they were, I mean, in Rossini, so singing not only high Cs, but D flat, D naturals, you know, in all the bel canto repertoire. But the really voice of the tenor, you know, it comes with Caruso. Maybe there were many before, you know, but historically, it really comes with him.
It's a special moment in his life. He's finally going back home at Teatro San Carlo, singing in his hometown. For some reason, some political reason, he's singing L'Elisir d'Amore from Donizetti. He didn't go the way he's supposed to be. What that means for a tenor when your city, your people, turn the back to you.
Well, it's is sad. It's sad because, I mean, as an artist, you always want to give the best. I don't know, on any category, I don't know an artist that doesn't want to give the best. You know, and it can happen, we are humans. I mean, so the singer can be on an evening that he's not feeling well because of sickness, because of an accident. You can crack just like a dancer can fall, you know. I mean, this is something very normal. We are human beings and it could happen. Of course, the public is used to that everybody will do things. I mean, 95% of performances, everything goes fine, you know. Some people might like better or worse, some artists, but everything goes fine, you know. So the accident is something that it could happen. And the accident could happen at any time. So if you are not feeling well, I think you shouldn't sing. But we are pushed. And because we feel the theater. And when you feel the theater, sometimes, you know, you have to do it. You have to do it and say it, okay, so we make an announcement, we say I'm not feeling well. And so. But I think this sadness of that the public is not happy with you is really enormous when it's your own people, when it's the people of your own city. You know?
Another quote before we go.
Yeah.
I suffer so much in this life that is what they, the audience, are feeling when I sing. This is why they cry. People who felt nothing in this life cannot sing.
This is sure that I feel like him. I mean, I need to feel. But I have heard voices in my life that they make it very much impression in the public and they don't feel. But the beauty of the voice, they say it,
becomes the instrument.
It becomes an instrument, but they don't feel. Or also, the thing that I don't completely agree with him is that it's not necessary the suffering to make the other ones cry. I mean, you can suffer in life. We all suffer. I mean, life is sweet and sour for everybody. We can do that, but the thing is that it's not necessary. I mean, you also, besides being a singer, you are an artist.
Always.
And you have to convince the public, you know? You don't need to have been suffering in life in order to make the people cry. I think you have. I mean, you cannot be suffering every day of your life and say, you know, look how I'm suffering, you know. I mean, you have to have the feeling. That's different. You have to have the feeling to move the people. And yes, there are moments where inside of what you are doing, there are circumstances in your life which they put you to suffer. There are moments in your life you have lost a very dear, you know, my parents, when I lost them, when I lost my mother, when I lost my father, I was in a very, very, very difficult moment, devastated. There are many things in life, they make us be very sad. We have a suffering. But, you know, we don't need always to suffer in order to make the people cry. I think we could be very, very happy in life in that moment, and you can still make the people feel the pain, the crying, or whatever, you know. So I think that it is not a condition that you have suffered too much in life. It's a condition that you have the feeling to make the people feel one way or the other.
Maestro, I was telling you when we just met that I was inspired to the fact that I was born there, where he was born, and I grew up with this figure in my life. I took this amazing challenge to try to help a little bit to bring alive this figure with this little show. I'm a young tenor, and there are many other young tenors out there. Do you have any suggestion for me?
Well, what can I tell you? This is a world, a marvelous world to sing. I am so grateful because I have been doing it for so many years. And the only thing is, you have to have almost a devotion to what you are doing. You have to have that, yes, I agree with Caruso, you have to have a voice, first of all, a voice that arrives to the public. The public is the one that decides, is who makes the stars, the public. And so we all have to fight, to prepare ourselves, to study, and take it very, very serious, this career. And the only advice that I can give to you and to everybody is to have the right guide, the guiding, the right teacher, or if not the right teacher, the intuition to be taking care of your voice, to take care of your technique, and just to wait for the moment. Luck is important in life also, but luck knocks at the door, so when luck knocks at the door, you better be prepared, So this is something. So, you have been born where Enrico was born, and so you are from the places where Mareghiare, Stana Fenesta, Monasterio Santa Chiara, Funiculi, Funiculà, tutte queste canzoni che fa i tenori, the tenors make. So I think that you have to be enthusiastic about your career. You have to be also you have to be, it's a certain way of thinking, People get very enthusiastic for voices, but people generally, they don't understand too much. Connoisseurs and fans, yes. A voice is always impressive, a voice, and especially the tenor voice, it's impressive sound, So you have to be conscious of how much you have to learn, how much you have to feel, how much to be a good musician, to be the discipline and to be humble it takes. Really, you have to learn, and you have to be ready, like I said, when luck knocks at the door, and then be ready always, and take it as a wonderful, beautiful life, because do you know how many jobs in life they are really tough? So we are lucky, we are privileged, we are privileged to make people happy. We are privileged to be able to serve all these geniuses who wrote all these fantastic operas. We are lucky to follow a generation that starts more than 100 years with Caruso, and before 400 years of opera, over 400 years of opera. We are lucky. So to all the young people, be prepared, and be humble, Don't be, I think among singers there is almost a certain type that they believe, and they are like nobody. Nobody can touch them, So you have to be humble, and you have to know that before us has been great people. So let's learn from them. And this generation, I'm very proud with my competition for the 21 years, the 22nd edition has bring so many singers, you know. And I always tell them the same, you know. So work, 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 be humble and be prepared.
And you said something, you said luck plays an important role.
Absolutely.
And today I was so lucky to just have this conversation with you, because this is a lesson for life.
Pasquale, I'm very, very happy to be here with you, and I wish you the best. And I have heard the voice already a little bit in the preparation of this program, but I would like you to hear alive, you know. So, and I wish you the best. Okay?
Grazie.